correlated.
Let's see. Can you guys hear us?
Huh.
Okay, well hopefully you guys can hear us now. Sorry, we're having some issues. And we're back. Okay, thanks guys for your patience. We've been having some weird audio issues with the mics, which is weird because it was working fine for the podcast. But we're here. Thanks for joining us. Happy Hump Day. Welcome to the Midheaven Podcast Live. So we shoot this bi-weekly. We come on here to do live readings just to hang out with you guys, have a drink, and say thank you for supporting the channel. As always, your donations for readings go right back to production, everything that we need to get this going. How's everybody doing?
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
How are you guys doing? So we decided we did a poll on the channel. We asked if you guys wanted tarot or astrology. You guys wanted both, so it's a little different. Obviously, there's a QR code right here. You can scan that. It's going to take you to our PayPal for donation. If you want to get an astrology reading, it is a $50 donation. If you want to donate more, be generous, you're welcome to do so. We need your age, so we need to know your time, date, location, city of birth, AM and PM. Please give us all of that information and let us know what you want us to look at. We're not going to, we can go on forever, so be specific. Tell us what questions you have. And also, we're doing tarot readings, so we can do one card for $20, 3 cards for $40. So your option is $20 for 1 card, $40 for 3 cards, or $50 gets you an astrology question. Hello, everyone. What's up, Victoria? Hey, Kurt. Hey, Lauren, Joe, Kayla. Everybody, Paula, we got you. We have already been putting everybody's charts in. There was like 2 people that we didn't get your chart information for. You gave us our... So when we come to your name, please give us your information so we can put that in. Yep, I got you, Paula. We're going to take you first. Can you just confirm that your birthday is March 21st on 1989? Confirm that for us if you can. But we've got like 10 people in the queue. So we're going to take Paula. Then we've got Matt, Alexa, Crystal, Kayla, Carrie, Crystal again, a different Crystal. Sirius, Jessica Martinez, Donald Mayfield, and Lauren. So we'll actually take Paula and we'll take Jessica Martinez because you guys are members. And Kayla, we'll take you guys first because you guys are members. Okay, so can you give us your info, Paula, so we can put that in, please?
Paula?
Yeah.
That you got it up right there.
Yeah, she said that's not her.
Oh, that's not her. Oh, okay.
Oh, she wants a tarot reading. Okay, that's cool. We can do that. What is your question, Paula? Let us know. We'll pull tarot for you. So yeah, don't worry, guys. We've got you all here. Mike will be pulling a sexual tarot. So we'll take your questions, Paula, and then after that we'll do a reading, astrology reading for Kayla. Thank you for donating, even though you're already a member. And Jessica Martinez, same to you. So you want to pull 3 cards for Paula?
Let's do it.
Cool. All right. We're back in action. It'll be interesting to do both of these at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Create that space so you can get a reading there.
Oh, this is beautiful. So this is actually really beautiful. So we have the Hermit, we have the 8 of Pentacles, we have the 6 of Wands, and we have the Magician.
She says, asking for a connection. Our moons are conjunct 1 degree of Aqua, both Venus and Gemini. Would love to understand more.
That's so ironic because true to you being the individual Aries, I don't get the impression that this has anything to do with your question unless this is talking about him. So if we talk about this specific to your actual progression, I'll talk about this with you and how it might apply to him, right? So the 8 of Pentacles is you hard at work, especially with the Hermit card. You've been understanding how to really engineer your own uniqueness as a Scorpio rising into your lifestyle. And so you've really been hard at work to really take your skills and everything you're good at doing and bolt out quality work. Now we have you at the Six of Wands, where you're coming into popularity, admiration for your hard work, and this is leading into the Magician of great breakthrough, where it's like you get that standalone moment where everything you've been working towards is seen. That's kind of what I see. It's like the Eight of Pentacles is you practicing playing guitar. The Six of Wands is you coming into a concert performance where you're playing guitar. And the Magician is your guitar solo, where you are admired by your expertise. Now, the Magician is also your most compatible soulmate. So if this is talking about him, who you're talking about, it does promise a very amazing breakthrough into how efficiently y'all communicate. It's just I don't get the sense that this might be entirely addressing this question, but what do you feel about that?
Well, she's asking about the connections between their moons and also Venus. I think it's talking about maybe finding somebody who is like similar, who has similar goals and like aspirations. And after a period maybe of like introspection and like really thinking about what it is that you're looking for, finding one another. The Hermit makes me think of the Mercury retrograde, you know, and like what's going on there, and perhaps maybe where that Mercury transit is making aspects to your guys' Venus. And as it dips in and out of Libra, eventually it'll come into a trine. And I think maybe it's like realizing that you guys have similar goals and that you guys are on the same page, especially in terms of what you're hoping to achieve and like what you've learned, possibly even in like past relationships and how you've been working on yourself. And like manifestation has led to meeting somebody who is walking a similar path as you. Obviously, if you have like moon to moon and Venus in the same sign, you guys relate in a very similar way. You love in a similar way. Emotionally, you're very much the same. Working with that element of air between those two planets, it's also saying it's like a higher octave, like it's more intellectual, it's more communicative. So like you guys can talk about where things have gone wrong in past relationships and like where you've realized you've made sacrifices, or maybe you weren't on the same page with people from the past. And so how you've worked on yourselves basically until you've come to this moment. Like I wonder if there's like talking about future goals, because the Eight of Coins with the Six of Wands is like, okay, what are we building? Where are we growing? What are we doing? What are we creating together? What are we manifesting? And how it's also allowing you guys to have that space for personal growth and not feeling like you're smothered by the relationship, that you can respect your guys' like private time. And also you can have a lot of like enrichment in doing things together. Yeah, but just moon to moon, Venus to Venus, already you guys are going to be emotionally on the same page and you're going to like and be attracted to the same things. So it's going to be much easier to relate when it comes to preferences and what you need in relationships, and more importantly, what you need emotionally. Hopefully that gives you some insight. Hello, everyone. Just a heads up, guys, if you send us your info on social media, we don't have our phones when we're filming, so we don't have that info. So just send it in PayPal when you guys make the donation for your memo, because we can't always check that, but that's okay. We'll still get it from you. It's not a big deal. We're going to take our level 3 members. So we've got Kayla. So let me pull up your chart, Kayla. You're welcome, Paula. Let us know. Let us know what happens there. That's a cool connection. Kayla says, I feel karma has kicked my ass lately, but I feel a shift. What's next? Well, I mean, hi. Saturn was retrograding conjunct your sun. So that's super karmic. But I think, to be honest with you, like, the Libra rising Mercury retrograde is very, very interesting because it'll retrograde short of your ascendant. So there's a sense of like rest and retreating, like thinking things over, working out some kind of relationship karma, working out how you communicate. You're kind of becoming more introspective with Mercury retrograde. The entire time, even when it dips into Virgo, it's still going to be in your 12th house. So this is where you let old relationship problems just kind of sort themselves out. And also feeling like you need more alone time. I like the retrograde in aspect to, to Mars. Mars is going through your 8th house, so there's some change and transformation and intimacy and also in resources. And I think the karma aspect is just Saturn going retrograde. So it's going to come back in a conjunction with your sun, obviously, come the turn of the year. So you actually get a little bit of a break. And while Saturn is retrograding, it's also sextiling all of your planets in Sag. So it's allowing you to like read more, study more, become more interested in like learning. I think it's the Mercury retrograde that's in a slight square to your Venus, which is your chart ruler. And you might be feeling like a little bit more private right now. And this last week's been a little brutal if you're a Venus-based chart, having Venus in Leo come in opposition, not only to Saturn, but it's in opposition to your sun, right? So it's a lot of like what you want and what other people are giving you. It's just not matching up or feeling like you're not satisfied, right? So there's like a sense of being like not satisfied. Over the next couple of days, Venus will still oppose your sun. So I would say just take into consideration that these are some challenging energies. You're learning how to find happiness within yourself and not, basing it off of other people or friends or lovers. And I really feel like coming out the other side of the Mercury retrograde, when you get to like mid-October on, you're going to have a newfound sense of self-expression. You're going to be more willing to communicate, to be open. But you have planets that are behind your ascendant. Thankfully, it's all going to come into a trine with your sun. So the more that you're taking time to kind of rest, recuperate, reflect, dream, literally catch up on sleep, and like take time to be alone with your thoughts, the more clearly you can express yourself to other people when this phase is over. And I would say just watch for where you're people pleasing or you're making sacrifices for other people that just don't feel good, right? There can be a sense of you saying yes when you want to say no, overextending yourself, being too understanding, being too lenient with other people. And this is the time over the next month to kind of work that out. And it can be about your goals. It can also be about just what makes you happy in general. So with Mars retrograde in a trine to Mars, where are relationships changing and like where do you need a little bit more alone time to readjust and rebalance your own scales so you can more equally meet other people, especially if right now there is like a feeling of like other people not really kind of cutting it for you, if that makes sense. What do you think?
I think the shift she's feeling is definitely Mercury and the sun that'll go over her first. Everything before that this year was like, how am I going to really put all this together? Because you're coming up with all these ideas and shifts. And then once it goes past Libra season, then all these go direct. And now from Libra to Aries or October to March, you're moving forward and it's all coming together. And you're now with Saturn going into Pisces, really bringing practical reality to this dream life you've been evolving. And congratulations in advance for your partnerships when Aries goes through your 7th.
Yeah, especially when Jupiter fully goes into your 7th and it hits your North Node and then it conjuncts your Mars and it sextiles your Sun. Like, really good relationship things are going to happen in the spring next year. And I think it's as a result of wherever you're rearranging things within yourself. I saw your comment, you're not settling. Like, don't settle, but also at the same time, part of that is not allowing yourself to be disappointed because other people can't meet you halfway. It's just about kind of going like, okay, I need somebody who's an equal. I'm going to put that energy back into myself rather than hoping that other people are going to show up. And if they've been disappointing you, you still have Pluto in Capricorn that's squaring your Mars. So there can be some emotional kind of disharmony with the family. And I'm glad that you're finally working it out with family so it doesn't play out in relationships, because that's what could happen if you don't appropriately work with the Mars-Pluto square. Get some rest. It'll be really helpful in the midst of this retrograde. It'll give you some time to also recuperate and kind of better plan how you're going to communicate with other people. So, you got to hit her chart. There you go. Oops. Hold on.
Like
there you
that,
go.
right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Sweet. Jessica, did she have any question at all?
No, she said I've been dealing with people's projections and guilt trips with family particularly, and she needs to deal with it. Yeah, you do. So it doesn't come out in relationships, because part of the clearing is also making space for clearing out family bullshit so you can make space for relationships, if that makes sense.
My bad, I meant Jessica.
Oh, yeah, Jessica had a specific question. She wanted to know I have to finish my calendar for October. Could I get a forecast on the month? I'll be having to travel October 3rd through the 10th. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Big love.
We know that's your fourth house, so traveling coming out the third into the fourth, even though that's a ninth house thing. Very interesting, just concerning that you're understanding more how to balance your friendships with other people, and this traveling you're going to go through will ironically put you in contact with new people and changes in your friendships that, because of the Jupiter opposition, it's going to make you very aware of how much you've evolved your career opportunities and how you individually balance these social connections that you're comfortable with. So Jupiter going into Aries, it's like you don't fit the clothes you used to fit anymore. And the way you socialize with people is more powerful. So Libra is going to let you know how much more powerful it is and how to balance that. So we know that, with Mercury finishing its retrograde, Venus going through here, Saturn going direct, Pluto going direct, it's going to move forward a lot of plans that might have been delayed, or in a sense, maybe even kind of having to be restructured accordingly.
I also think like the retrograde in your fourth, going home. So that's a great way to use the retrograde, but it can also be uncovering things within the family that you weren't aware of, or having conversations with the family that involves some kind of like secretness, because you got that trine that's building to Mars and Gemini. I like that Mercury is going to be stationing, and it's going to be retrograde right around the time you're traveling. So it's kind of cool that you're going to be traveling, I think you said the 3rd through the 10th. Mercury is direct by then, but it's still in the shadow. And Mercury is going to come into a trine with Pluto. So it can really deepen relationships with family and help you reconnect. I would just say watch for like trouble on the home front while you're traveling. Because while you're with family and you're away, like, who's watching your house? Is it secure? Is everything locked up? Do you have somebody that's checking on your things? Like, is there anything like that that's going on? I would keep an eye out for that.
The Grand Air Trine, too, will circulate new ideas that since June you were, like, contemplating, working through, and now Libra in October you're ready to present to other people. And that connection to your Mars with Mars and Saturn will take ideas you express and it's going to connect strongly with other people and push it farther.
And you have a full moon taking place in Aries on the 9th, ruled by Mars. It's in a sextile to Mars, and you've got the sun in a trine to Mars. So it makes me feel like you're coming back feeling like kind of rested and like recuperated. So you don't seem like it's really overwhelming with the process of coming back home after kind of being away for a little bit. Might be like an action-packed day, just everything revolving around that full moon, because as you're traveling on the 10th, the moon will be in the late degrees of Aries, and it's going to square Pluto, and it's going to oppose Mars. So it does feel a little tense, like actually leaving, or maybe family's like, oh, we don't want you to go, and you're like, I got to get out of here. Like, I'm ready for a break. And I also think that when, let's see, where's your moons? Your moon's in Cancer. So then we're going to have later in the month, the Sun and Venus trine Mars, really great mid-month for like creative ventures. If you're self-employed, if you're wanting to launch creative businesses, things like that, that's really positive. Lots of opportunity for romance and reconnection as well. But you may not see that to the later part of October. To me, it seems like it's just focusing on having fun, right? Like Venus and the Sun going into your 5th house is like, how can I have fun? How can I let loose? How can I have a little bit more playtime? That will bring up the theme of children, though, and it's going to be in a square to Pluto. So while it's positive with the trines to Mars, I feel like it's about talking to kids and making sure they're good, and your relationship with, somebody who's younger can be a little tense, whether that's a younger lover or just a child. Then when we get to, obviously, later in October, there's going to be an eclipse. I'm really curious about the October 23rd through October 25th period, because you're going to see like the moon, the Mercury, Sun, Venus all conjunct in Libra, square Pluto. So you're really clearing out any like past relationship issues, dealing with stuff relating to home and family, maybe property. That square to Pluto is going to be pretty gnarly, and it's going to happen right before we come into the eclipse. So on the 25th, we have a solar eclipse in Scorpio at 2 degrees. It's going to be Sun, Moon, Venus, all conjunct in Scorpio. It's pretty wild because it's very close to your Pluto. So it does tell me that there's some really passionate things that are starting. It can feel like it's like a birthing process of like creating something new relationships, new projects. And it's actually not entirely bad in aspects. That eclipse actually trines your ascendant. It also trines your moon. It makes me feel like you're going to be very emotional, very sensitive, but you're also feeling very romantic and like you want to get the show on the road with something. So the fact that it's so close to both your South Node and Pluto does make me feel like there's some real intense romantic energy that's kind of like setting up here. So you'll have to let us know, like, are you thinking about launching something? Is there going to be more action around dating? Is it going to be something in regards to a kid? Something like that is going to be happening. And an eclipse that's really close to the nodes is also highlighting in preparation coming into your nodal return, which you'll have closer to the new year when the South Node conjuncts.
And then, this is the last Pluto square you're going to have at Libra. So since 2008, you were overcoming issues or challenges between how you can balance your family's expectations or people private to you with the relationships you have, and how the value you have challenges what your friends may think about what you're worth, or your family's, right? Or your family's opinion about the value of your friendships with people. So this will break through if certain people don't approve of your friends or family, and like how you balance that pretty much.
Yeah. Really interesting to see how that plays out for you, especially conjunct the South Node. That almost screams to me with the squares to Saturn. There is some kind of something that you're receiving, like money-wise, or you're getting a payout, or you're inheriting something. Managing your business. Well, it's good for romance, that's for sure. Those eclipses there could be pretty sexy, to say the least. Hopefully that's helpful. Yeah, and you know what? Going back home and rehashing things with mom is not necessarily a bad thing during the retrograde, because it is going to trine Pluto. So you can air out whatever you need to air out, and she could see that you're providing and doing what you need to do, for your family. Keep us updated. Hey, Lynn, nice to see you. Thanks for visiting. Okay, so now we can get into our list of people. So we have Matt, Alexa, Crystal H. Then we're going to have Carrie. Then we have Crystal V, Sirius, Donald, and Lauren. Obviously, if you guys... And Victoria. If you guys make a donation, please just let us know. That way we make sure we don't miss anybody. There's someone that I used to date 10 years ago, and that's part of the payout. It's sort of sad. I've been having weird dreams. Ooh, the plot thickens. All right, so we've got Kurt here.
Did he get that and 3 cards?
There's 2 questions, so I just figured I'd lump them in together. Okay, so long story short, the teacher's assistant at work has become one of my biggest haters and talks shit about me to my bosses and coworkers all the time. My bosses don't seem to like her and are generally on my side, but I'm wondering if her talking so much shit about me will be a barrier to my success. Well, it's the Mercury retrograde and you're 6. It's hidden enemies that happen to be coworkers or people who serve you.
Teaching assistant too. And the 5th house is undergraduate education. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that as an Aries rising is Pluto in your 10th, and you breaking through these extreme challenges. I won't say like a glass ceiling, but it's interesting that Pluto is on Uranus in your chart. So that awakens this sense of radical independence, which will bring up a lot of these challenges as an aqua sun, so that you can break through this autonomy and need to really deal with such things. But, dealing with the TA and having this Mercury transit in the 7th is that open enemy, is with the retrograde preparing through the shadow, having you overcome and prepare to compromise. But the key here is You have your sun in Aqua, you have Saturn on your Mercury. So it's going to help you really adapt to the nature of what you're dealing with. A lot of the hidden enemies you're facing with people talking shit about you is Neptune in your 12th. So by the time you come around to have your Saturn return, you're releasing a lot of these issues where even if you left that, you'll see it mirror in other relationships. So this is very temporary. I feel like after the Mercury shadow, you'll already resolve it, but this is already preparing you for next year where Jupiter will go over your rising and you kick off your brand new 12-year chapter cycle. I became the peace dealer, right? It's clearing out right now. So you're changing your beliefs about yourself. And that's going to be very powerful.
Also, your Mercury is intercepted in Virgo. So it's a blind spot. It's like people come in to help you, but they end up being an enemy. Doctors come in to help you, but you're like, you fucked something up. This has been a theme that I've noticed with your chart. I think Saturn retrograde over your Mercury at 20 degrees is like showing a poisonous situation and where somebody is coming in and like trying to stir the pot. And I think with Mercury retrograde in Libra dropping into your 6th house, it's like being very like fair about it and like not causing a fuss. It's more like letting their actions speak for themselves. And when Mercury retrogrades back, when it retrogrades back and it comes into a trine with Pluto from like, let's say the 27th through, or the, what was that? The 24th through the end of September, you're going to have Mercury retrograde, conjunct Chiron, trine Pluto, and then you're also going to start seeing that the Sun, Venus is going to quincunx Saturn. I have a feeling this is going to be like other people speaking up for you, other people speaking up for your behalf, you know, speaking kindly about you, and like other people who are talking like bosses and being like, this person's causing a problem, or they're, you know, creating issues that don't need to be here. And it's going to get hashed out. Another thing that I would look for is that full moon that we're getting ready to have in Pisces. It's going to be at 17 degrees, relatively close to your Saturn, ruler of your 10th house. So it is possible that somebody, like a boss or somebody, can pull you aside to an office and be like, what's going on? What's the deal with this? Are you having problems? Other people have complained. And it's going to highlight that polarity to the Sun in Virgo in your 6th and a square to Mars. So you may have to stick up for yourself and be like, look, I know what the problem is. Like, I don't want to cause more of a problem and confront her. Can you handle it? And it's a really nice way to use Mars in the 3rd trine Saturn. That's like, let other people stick up for you. Let their actions speak for themselves. And I wouldn't be afraid of this because I feel like with Mercury retrograde over your Chiron trine Pluto, it's about learning to transform the gossip, the frustration, the anger with however somebody is behaving. And it may also be jealousy, you know? I think it could also be jealousy. Getting called and talking to somebody could be when Mercury retrogrades trine Pluto. I'm most interested in this period of clearing out right before the new moon, September 24th and 25th-ish. I don't know what days those land on, but the moon will come into Virgo, conjunct Venus, Mercury retrograde, and the Sun. So it could be like a woman that you end up talking to, or somebody that's like, do you want me to say something? Like, is this a problem? Like, what's going on here? And it's not anything to be afraid of, because all of this is in opposition to Jupiter, which is conjunct your ascendant, which means you're basically going to be like, I'm just here to do my job. I don't want any problems. I'm not going to tell her what to do. I'm not going to get involved in gossip. It's about rising above it and coming at it in a way that's like very sagely, and realizing that power is about communication and not stirring the pot and like fueling the drama, if that makes sense. I also see that you're asking about work. Oops, we have another one here. Hold on. We had 2 questions from you. And then the other question you had was, where is it? There's one here and one here. Okay. You were also asking, how is Mercury retrograde in the 6th going to affect you? Okay, so dealing with all the paperwork and also your permits to let you teach. Because a lot of kids we work with were sent here by the state. They always turn a blind eye and let you do whatever. It's time to get the permits together and qualify for the teacher's prep program. You're in a master's degree but that doesn't count. You have to pass 4 tests. You've got 3 down and 1 to go. You explain to your bosses that you're not a teacher in your program yet. They said it's okay as long as you're in your master's. I'm worried about the Department of Education, maybe like you don't qualify for a permit.
The completion of your master's is tied to Saturn returning in your chart. So after it clears out of Aquarius, any limitations or delays you have will be gone. So we're talking about now until March of next year. That's going to clear everything past your birthday. Mercury in your 6th house is fundamentally rewiring your brain to integrate everything you've been learning so that you can practically apply it into your lifestyle and into your work. So the retrograde out of Libra will help you see how it's actually affecting other people and then go back to the drawing board to see how you're going to apply it. Most of this will be subtle because it's 8th house to your Aqua Sun. So these are things that you may not notice real time until after the fact. But regardless, a lot of these challenges you're feeling are signs that you're going to overcome them, which is why you're feeling it now.
Also, Jupiter's on your ascendant, so that's going to help you with the whole teaching aspect. And even though the Mars retrograde is going to oppose all of your Sagittarius in the 9th, it's going to be creating that motivation for you to be like, I need to get the paperwork. Like, you may very well finish your test or you may finish your master's program, but you're waiting for documents to show up, legitimizing and making it possible for you to do this in the future. I don't think unless you come into a hard angle with Saturn, this is going to be a problem. You're coming up here pretty soon to having squares to Saturn, so you want to watch when Mars is around 10 degrees if there's any issues. So this would be the 6th of September through right around the 10th, because Mars will be in shadow and that's your chart ruler. I think it's just about having like another, preliminary conversation that's like, there's no problems, right? We're good. I just want to make sure. Maybe you're going to have to show proof that you're in the master's program. I don't know. But for the most part, I think it's going to be fine because Mars, even when it's in shadow and it moves forward, it's in a trine with your Mercury, which is your ability to serve groups of people and children. And it's also going to be in a trine with Saturn. So it makes me feel like they're going to be like, don't worry, you're good. When you do pass that test or when you do have proof that you are completing a program or what have you, just give it to us. But I don't see problems there.
The limitations will happen from now until mid-October, and then after it goes direct past the shadow, you won't have those anymore.
And when Mars goes retrograde and it stations, it's going to station at 8 degrees, which is right in opposition to your Jupiter. Which means this is creating more motivation, more push, more studying, like emphasis on passing the test, getting the permit, doing what you have to do.
And breakthroughs.
Yeah, and breaking through. And it all squares Saturn. So it's going to create some kind of tension for you emotionally with the process of like, is it going to be okay?
The Mercury retrograde doesn't influence if it's harder or easier. It's more so you want to see transits like... if you have to go to the store, Mercury retrograde will be like, is it raining or is it not raining? So it's going to let you know, are you going to wear an umbrella or not? But whether it's easy or not depends on you. Really good question.
I also think that, Mercury going retrograde is just deeper thoughts. And I think if you're having to return and complete another test, it's fine. And in the midst of the Mercury retrograde, it's also going to trine Mars, which is your chart ruler. And that's kind of happening like the whole first week of September. But even when it dips back into Virgo, which is very comfortable in, it's going to trine Pluto. So that's about like really being goal oriented and like wanting to like get this stuff done. I don't know if you can pick the day that you take the test. I'm wondering, like, can you do it around September 30th? And if not, maybe you get the results like right around then. I'm just looking at that day. It's like a Friday, yeah. But that's right when Mercury is, like retrograding, trying to Pluto, and then the moon goes into Sag and it's going to trine Jupiter. So actually it's fine. If you want to go back and you want to take the test, it's just like, have you studied enough? Are you ready? Is there a change with your schedule? There will be scheduling changes that are going to be happening at work and also in regards to testing, because that Mercury retrograde is going to be in a square to Mars, and it's also going to slightly square Jupiter and Venus, so there can be some changes that are going on in terms of like when other people are able to schedule you. But I don't think it's going to have a problem. I don't think you're going to have a problem at all. You do have Mercury that will come back into a slight opposition with Neptune, so it's about looking over details, making sure that you're not messing up, thinking you're supposed to be there one day and then you get the time wrong. You know, just double and triple check things. And studying or reading or absorbing information is the third. So it's like, I would say try to do the test earlier in September rather than later, because then you're going to get into Mars square Neptune and it may be harder for you to kind of focus. But I don't see it being a problem at all. Mm-mm.
Beautiful.
Hopefully that's helpful for you, Kurt. Let's see. Thank you, Jennifer. We got you. All right. So
Alexa.
now we can take Alexa. Where is she? I know I put her in here. There she is. Alexa says, no big question what stands out about my chart. You are
1990.
a Cancer rising, moon in Taurus, sun in Capricorn.
Nice. Natural director as a high priestess. So we know that you were born 1990, so you're a super alien goddess with the natural queen soul. Your soul is being completely blown up by Uranus, aligning you to the unconventional manifestation of your soul's natural strength. So we want to look at the fact that Pluto has been awakening the central focus of this generational power. That's very iconic because we are now at a position where we're finally of age. We are the only type of people of our kind born in the 90s with this type of power, and it takes 30 years to awaken. So we're on the precipice of phenomena that science won't catch up to until like Saturn leaves Pisces. So you're like a collective leader awakening to this nature of power directly towards other people. So relative to Saturn that's coming out of your 8th and Jupiter that's ready to pioneer this amazing career success through your MC out of Pisces, evolving your career, you're getting ready to take the evolution since 2014 and bring it all together. So this is a very powerful period for you where you're breaking through final limitations to establish a level of success that you have dreamed about with the MC in Pisces. And you have a lot to look forward to coming out of the fall season to round this about. So the main focus really is, what are your relationships with others challenging you to accept about yourself, and how you're holding your power back instead of taking your power back and drawing proper boundaries with Saturn in your 8th?
I'm just like really in awe of your Venus-Saturn North Node in a trine, you know, loosely to your moon, but really to your Mars. It's a lot of like passion and motivation to get things going. And like I've seen a lot of like 6th house suns that are like, why am I here to serve other people? Like, why am I always helping others? Like, when is it my turn? And it may not seem like it, but you're in a very powerful transit, having Pluto sitting on your North Node right now. And it's really, you're going to start feeling that pressure continue to build into the new year, right when it comes into conjunction with your North Node. And that's about a powerful transformation of like psychic powers, abilities, intuition. I mean, the late degrees of Capricorn, that's what I named my business after. It's beyond the veil. It's about looking and piercing through the veil. So it's developing your intuition and like learning to trust that and not second guessing yourself. All with a trine to Mars. Whole sign, it does deal with your 10th house, so it's about your goals in relation to your career and how you're learning to ask for more, and just developing a lot of your talent, occult talent, especially because it's in the 8th house. Yeah, really interesting. I also have Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Venus, and Capricorn, just like you, so I have a lot of the same placements. And there is a sense with the Capricorn stellium kids from like the late 80s until the early 90s of like, when am I going to hit it? When am I going to hit it? When am I going to hit it? And so much focus at a young age and like success and like mastering things that we do hit it earlier on, and you have to understand, for a lot of us, we're going to have a lot of success and stuff through these outer transits. Then we're going to be like 40 years old going like, okay, well now what? Because we've accomplished so much.
Yeah.
So pace yourself, take time, and really look at things, especially psychologically right now. Go and learn about Pluto conjuncture North Node, because it's all funneling into a trine with your Mars, which is opening up the bigger picture of like what it is that you really want to do out in the world, and how that requires a group of people, and it requires good friends, and the need to also just to change, you know.
December, January, Pluto will be exactly on your North Node,
Yeah.
so it's going to awaken your destiny for the first time. Congratulations.
Really exciting to see what happens. Keep us updated. And yeah, you do have lots of progress that's stemming, I think, more from career personally. You know, relationship stuff is still taking a little time, because whole sign, that still does belong to your 7th. So there's still some profound changes going on in relationships. But career-wise, Jupiter is going retrograde, you know, back. Still, it'll be in your 10th house this year and next year, but I think it's more active right now, and it's shifting back into Pisces, where it's going to make sextiles to all of your Capricorn, and it's like, you know, what can I change and transform? What is the dream when it comes to, you know, the career stuff that you're doing? Hopefully that's helpful for you. What's up, Wendy? All right, so who do we have next? So we got Crystal. So this is Crystal H. I know we have 2 crystals, so this is Crystal H. July 6, 1991, 4:33 p.m. She says, I feel so stuck right now, looking for a light at the end of the tunnel. I've been unhappy with my job for some time, looking for a new one until I meet someone new, and thought there was relationship potential. I focused on that relationship over the job search. The relationship ended in July. I'm actively looking for new jobs and recently spoke to a recruiter this week. I'm wondering if there's any positive transits coming up for a job change or progress in my dating life. Scorpio rising problems. Here's the deal, boo-boo. You need to take all relationship stuff and just put it on back burner. Just throw it away for right now. You don't need to worry about that right now. I'm going to give you some tough love.
Relationship stuff?
Yeah.
That's inevitable anyway.
It is, but she's got Saturn that's going to be in opposition to her Venus.
Yeah.
Right? And so really for a Scorpio rising, you haven't had this fully yet. You'll experience this more in the new year when Saturn goes into Pisces. But Saturn's at the bottom of your chart. So it's trying to get you to think about what kind of a life are you building, right? Do you have stability in your home? Do you like where you're living? Can you pay your expenses? You know, how are you feeling? It is a natural depressive energy for a Scorpio rising right now.
During a Saturn turn.
Mm-hmm. And when Saturn is at the most southern part of your chart, it is the lowest from your 10th house. So you're going, even if you were in a job super successful, you'd be like, I'm not happy. All right, that's just the way that it goes. Because it's trying to get you to cultivate more work for you personally in your home life. Now, Saturn is also in a square to your ascendant at 22, your descendant at 23, they're at 23, and it'll come into an opposition with Venus. Personally, I look at this and go, you really want to focus more on the fact that you just had a new moon in your 10th house, so you're setting new goals when it comes to your career. Mars is in your 7th, so people can come in. Like, people can show up that can motivate you and push you, but I think this is better spent on, okay, is it a recruiter who's looking for jobs for me and bringing opportunities for me that's going to prompt me to do more work? I would say stick with that right now. That's going to get you a little bit further. You also have Uranus, that's in your 6th house, which is creating a lot of instability at work. It's opposing Pluto, bringing up fears. I feel like I would use this immediate next month or so with all these transits through Virgo and a Mercury retrograde in your 10th to like find a job, go back to work. It's all going to trine through your 2nd house Capricorn stuff, and you're going to be able to feel more stable and secure. Also, now all the focus is going to be on your 10th house, and it's squaring Mars in the 7th. So you might have people calling you, texting you, you know, people you can go out and see and date, but like that comes second to some of the stuff that you're focusing more on in terms of your career. And Later in the year, at the end of the year, going into the new year, Saturn, which rules home, is going to come into an opposition with Venus in Leo, which rules your 7th house of relationships. So unfortunately, relationships will still feel a little bit at a distance, but that's okay. It's designed that way. It's trying to kind of get you to kind of scale back first and focus more on your career. Then you're going to see later in the fall, there's a Mars retrograde in your 7th, and you are Mars. So it's trying to get you to think about, is there more than one potential? Are you open to dating 2 people? Do people from the past come back? Likely that will happen. But it's also asking you, like, how much energy are you putting into other people? And with the squares to Neptune, where is it not fulfilling emotionally? And yeah, I think it's time to focus more on career stuff and know that there's going to be a lot of back and forth with relationships. So don't put all your eggs in that basket is kind of the feeling that I'm getting.
You're also evolving the relationship between the lifestyle you create to support your career.
Yeah.
So once Saturn finishes out of Aquarius, coming into the end of this year, all the delays you've had towards your career are done, because it is establishing the foundation, like unconscious or subconscious to you, so that once this goes into Pisces, the delays are over. Any kind of misaligned energy towards other people that you're not aware you're misaligning, Saturn is delaying. So you change direction, and then, I mean, as soon as Jupiter goes back into Aries next year, you're going through nothing but career evolution. That's the stress you're feeling, because you don't see it yet, but you feel it. So that's going to register as stress and what do I do? But you're already there. I think Candace's advice is solid. Just kind of ride this out, because there's a feeling that you need to do more than you have to, but you just need to really let this Saturn return finish, and once all these planets go over your rising in Scorpio, you won't be so unclear. Like, you'll be a lot more clear. So get some rest, because the 12th house planets will have you stressful, and you just need to release all and surrender.
And you could find yourself in a similar situation when Saturn comes back into an opposition with your Mars and Venus. You could be like, I chased another relationship and it didn't pan out, and I'm back to the drawing board trying to figure out my career. Like, trust me on this. It's smarter with Saturn in your 3rd, trying the Mars transit in your 7th, to like communicate and tell people what you can and can't do when you're available. Have much more of a relationship by phone, show up for your career. And know that in the new year, when Jupiter comes back into your 5th house fully, which is about true love, you'll be making more money, you'll have more time for vacations and all the things that I can see that you want to do with Mars and Venus and Leo in your 9th. Saturn comes out of that opposition, and it's like from March all the way until spring of 2024, it's on like Donkey Kong with relationships. Like, it is going to expand. Make a note also of July and August 2023. You're going to have a Venus retrograde there. I have a feeling that you're going to be traveling, or you're going to be training, or something's going to happen. You're going to meet someone, and you'll kind of go, oh, now I get why it didn't work out with that bozo, because I had to go and focus on work, which led me to being able to train or travel or have more fun. And then I met somebody who, like, it sticks. You know what I'm saying? And you're super passionate with Mars and Venus in Leo. You really want love, but you have Mars and Venus square Pluto. And that means you need to focus on your development, your evolution, your career stuff, your passions before other people. And you want to watch for obsessively fixating on people who aren't good for you.
Right.
Hopefully that's helpful. A little tough love on a Wednesday. Okay, so we got all of those done. So
Crystal.
did I do this?
Yeah.
I did, right?
I think we did Carrie. Then Matthew. Or maybe we didn't. No, we didn't do Carrie.
No, we need Carrie. Carrie, are you here? We don't have your birth information.
I think she put it in the second one.
Did she?
Yeah.
Okay, hold up. I know I've got a...
Carrie in.
Let's see. Here we go. Thank you. 8/21/75. Oh, hold up.
I think you have it though. Oh, okay. Oh no, that's someone else.
And that was at 5:50 a.m.
And Jacqueline, thank you for your payment. Yo, I'm not playing around this week.
All right. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so this is for Leo Fire Spirits.
Celestial.
Thank you, we got you.
Lead role.
There we go. So let me pull up your
Celestial Solar
question.
Queen.
She says, Leo Rising, this has been relentless shit show, but I'm rocking it out. Dare I ask what's next? Let's find out.
I love with your moon in Aqua, you're feeling that controlled opposition towards you. You're feeling what is necessary to balance and bridge the raised standards that you are establishing in your relationship. So what's next is you're on the road to the eclipse. You got your MC in Taurus. You're getting ready to manifest more career success than you ever have your whole life, establishing a unique monopoly that after Saturn finishes through your 7th will go through your 8th and prepare to transform the boundaries of how you deal with other people accordingly so that you can take this Virgo value and Venus and Mercury that you have, the critical perspectives, and draw proper boundaries to invest in the right people's beliefs. So this is going to be the results of these partnerships. Basically, it prepares one for marriage, divorce, business partnerships, and it's going to really have you transform, once again, how you deal with others, who you trust. But the main focus here is Jupiter. That's going to come out your 9th next year, and by May of 2023, teeter into Taurus. So I want you to think that, especially since the eclipse, what you sowed seeds for in May, you've been sowing the seeds to create this career, manifest this next level. And by the time you come back to next year, basically 2020, 2021 was you creating the taco stand. And next year is where you launch the taco stand and Jupiter expands it.
And we hope you invite us to the taco stand.
It's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. Like Jupiter's going to bring a lot more people than you expected.
You were born on a full moon in Aquarius. Come on.
That's
you were
so
born
strong
for this shit.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's difficult being a Leo or a Leo rising with the Saturn opposition, but my goodness, having Saturn on your moon oppose your sun and square the nodes recently. Here's what I have to tell you. The 2 areas of your life where you cannot accept less than what you deserve is your relationships and your career. And you may feel like it's you against the world. You're no stranger to crazy relationships or friendships because the moon rules your 12th house. So you have always seen this polarity of like you versus other people and how other people can kind of act in relation to you just shining. I think the silver lining in the midst of this is that even in spite of Saturn on your moon, which is teaching you a lot about karmic relationships and sometimes people you have to kind of cut ties with, it's also teaching you about clients, or it's teaching you about showing up and being able to counsel other people and holding space for them. I like that Jupiter is going to be still kind of slightly trining your ascendant, and next year when you have your Jupiter return, it's going to trine your sun, which has really gone through like the ringer. And the only thing you really need to look out for is going to be the eclipse season, because the eclipse season is going to rock you a little bit because Scorpio eclipses really send you for a loop.
Yeah.
So look for that in the fall. And next year, Saturn's no longer opposing your sun, but Uranus is coming into a square. So this is telling me that you're like, I need an upgrade when it comes to my identity in the world. My career is changing and evolving, and I need relationships to match that. So don't let other people dim your light, especially like family members, female relatives, female clients, female friends. There's something going on here where it's like people who have bad habits, they're secret enemies. Saturn rules your 6th. They're not really allowing you to shine. They gotta go. We're cutting them loose. And I think that you have a lot of support right now with Mars and Gemini. It's going to be sextiling your ascendant, and throughout the whole retrograde, it's going to be trying your moons. You're going to kind of really see who your true friends are. You're going to cut some people. You're going to meet new friends, make new groups, and it's all going to trine Uranus in your 3rd. So you're realizing that you need people who are going to cheer you on and champion you, and people who are also going to be okay with like you just being authentic and being yourself.
Plus, with the nodal opposition, I love how you mentioned Qigong and Reiki. That's a great. Uranus is innovating that energy healing, and Mars and the 11th is you spreading the message to prepare for
Well,
that.
and you were
ahead of time.
born with a grand fixed square. It's like if you have a grand fixed square in your chart, you have a lot of grit. So the good thing is that while everybody else is melting down, you're like, fuck yeah, let the world burn. Like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's happening in parts of your chart that are angular, your 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th. So there's going to be fireworks in all of these areas. Depending on your annual perfection, I would say relationship stuff is a thing, especially if somebody who you're in a relationship with, if you're feeling like they're not showing up the way that you need to have them show up, especially with Saturn. Your moon is in Aquarius and it's in an Aquarius degree. So I'm wondering if this is like you evolving and you saying to a partner, like, I need you to join me because I'm going to the moon and you're either coming with me or you're getting left behind. And that'll really come full circle when we get into eclipse season in the fall, because we're going to see an eclipse in your 4th house. It's going to be on your IC, so there's changes in the home, and also a reactivation of the eclipses that you've been seeing since April and May, you know? But yeah, the grand finale will be Uranus conjuncting Jupiter, you know, over the next 2 years in a square to your sun, and like career things are bigger than life and there's a lot of attention on you. So you need people who are going to support that. Yeah, somebody told me a long time ago, and I got a reading with Nicola, that 23-degree moon in the 7th house does mean divorce. It does mean a separation. Yeah. Yeah, I have that too. All right. Hopefully that's helpful. Sending you good vibes in the midst of those transits. That's challenging, but it sounds like you're optimistic about making some big shifts. Okay, so we have now got Crystal V. We need your info. Can we get that from you, please? If you can send that. We'll move on to Sirius until we get Crystal's info. Thank you guys for your patience. I appreciate it. Okay. July 11th, 97, 5:45 p.m.
New Gen.
And
Pluto Sage.
I want to know more about my love life and relationship. What's coming in the coming days? Thank you, Miss V. I'll get you next.
Okay, so we know the eclipse is in your 5th house. So 5th house is the friends of the heart. It opens up romance. And the key for love for you is unlocking your social circle and the potential cult following you can have. But this is unlocking the support you gain from friends so that you can manifest your own independence. The focus here, especially as a representative of the new generation, because Saturn in Aries is going to bring your Saturn return coming 2025. You are creating the independence you need to enjoy how your own creative efforts enable you to live off of your own talents. I feel like once you establish that more, that's going to be the direction towards having a satisfying love life with people who connect with friends you have who love what you do and support what you do. So focus towards your passions as Jupiter goes through next year to evolve this before it comes back. You're going to have ample opportunities. So any kind of blockages here, especially as a Cancer sun, Pluto is awakening your relationships opposite you. So it's a really important reason with Juno on your sun too, why you're very focused on this, or at least curious about it. I wouldn't worry so much about timing, because timing will be more dependent on how focused you are to break through your North Node, because you're already going to be around romantic potential now. But if you don't have that 5th house supported, it's not going to enable a foundation for anything to grow. So I would say you're going to open up. I think you're not aware of what is already around you because of that Pluto opposition. And once that smoke clears, you'll be more aware than ever. And you may be moving with Jupiter going through your 4th.
You've got a new moon on your natal moon in Libra season. That's big, so you want to look at that lunar return. That new moon, because the moon is in Libra, which is about partnership, it rules your 7th. Likely what happens between that new moon and really for the next 2 years, because I know there's going to be eclipses very close to those degrees, I think in 2024. set intentions about relationships on that new moon next month, because it'll play out in a very big way over 2 years, which could very well lead to getting married, ninth house, relocating, ninth house, stuff like that in regards to relationships. You were born with your sun in an opposition to Neptune. It's a wide opposition, but it's there, which means there's the focus on other people, and then Neptune in your first house is like, but I feel lost, I feel alone. And right now, you're going through some big stuff. Transit Pluto's coming in conjunction with Neptune, which means it's all about how you think about being alone. Not looking at it as people leave you or people abandon you or they don't see you, but it's about you being like, I'm okay on my own. I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm not going to allow it to bother me. I'm not going to allow it to take over my life. Equally, you have Neptune retrograding coming in conjunction with your South Node in Pisces. So once again, undoing these thoughts of, oh my God, am I always going to be alone? What's going to happen? I think that when you change the mindset of this and you shift that around a little bit, you're going to see magic happen.
Yeah.
I also think that Jupiter and the eclipses are still taking place in your whole sign 5th house, which is about true love and relationships. So likely you may find that next year, as Jupiter's going through there, you do find someone. Jupiter and Uranus will be sextiling your sun. You might meet somebody out of the blue and it might be true love, and then you realize that it's just going to take off very quickly. Use this Mercury retrograde period as Mercury turns retrograde over your moon to re-examine your beliefs about relationships and consider trying to connect with people who might be in different places. Maybe talking to a relationship coach can be really helpful because the moon rules your 7th house, so finding somebody who can help you kind of make sense of what you want rather than hoping and grasping at just whatever shows up. If it ends up being relationships that leave you kind of holding the bag emotionally.
And, when my friend had Jupiter go over their Saturn, they got a work bonus. We see you have Saturn over your Jupiter. So this is structuring your... First of all, Kylie Jenner has this, and she's a fucking billionaire. Bill Gates has Jupiter in a second. But Kylie Jenner, specifically born 97, has this. So you have the capacity to be like a multi-millionaire. Like Jupiter in the 2nd house means that you have such an expansive network that Saturn is structuring to bring to reality. So the things this will do to your confidence will now, squaring the 5th, open up more opportunities. The best advice I can give you is to ask your friends to hook you up. Even if they miss, you may gain a lot of luck by asking your friends who they may know to hook you up with people, and you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I think also just with Saturn going over your Jupiter, it's becoming aware of your talents and really restructuring your self-esteem and building that up so other people can see that as well.
Yeah.
So you're realizing you're complete with or without someone. All right, so now we can plug in Crystal V. Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for your info. So I've got you here, February 1st, 78.
Aquarius. 78.
And that was 4:28 a.m. in Longmont, Colorado. Oops. Okay, let me pull your question up here. All right, actually, that's not right. Why didn't it pull that up? Oh, I pulled the wrong one. There's two of them. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so your question was astrology reading. What will the next 3 months bring me? Sag rising, Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Scorpio.
Nice.
Wait a second, that's not right. February 1st.
Yeah, that's right. Scorpio moon, Aqua sun. It was Scorpio Uranus, that's why.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, so you're a vessel of Uri. So if you type in higher self communications at Google, if you go to our alien chart video, and if you've seen that, you're a Uranian vessel, alien. So the next 3 months are going to bring you an ascended personification of how amazingly you have not only broken through old comfort zones, but are getting ready to engineer new creativity. Pluto is awakening greater confidence in how you manifest your finances. So, this is key because we know your MC and career path is in Libra. So, right now, you are fundamentally changing the behavior and the understanding of how you change the direction you're going to take in your career. You're understanding all the details you need to set up career success. This is going to change your direction. And then after you gain that perspective in Virgo, you're going to apply that October and take the actions to solidify career success relative to Jupiter that's evolved. How much more dynamically you can express this raw nature of your attitude towards others, and how that actually breaks you through into success. So by the time we have the eclipse in your 12th and you unlock unconscious beliefs because now you've gained success, that changes the way you look at how you see yourself. By the time we come into Sagittarius season, you are seeing a lot more how the changes you've made to your career are not only affecting you, but how you identify yourself. So you actually want to look forward to more career breakthrough than you've ever had because Saturn is in your sign. And it's going to anchor more, a much more strengthened quality of how to knowledgeably address these changes. With the North Node in your 6th especially, this is engineering innovative lifestyle routines that automate your income and allow you to do so much less and make so much more.
You have so much going on in your chart right now. I'm like, I think the cool thing is that Mars is going to station right in conjunction to your Jupiter, which is your chart lord. So it's a lot about figuring out your schedule, your routine, health, how you communicate in the day-to-day, which can open up relationships as well. Big topic right now because Pluto's been in opposition to your Mars. So it's a lot of, where do I want to live? What do I believe in? What do I love? What am I doing for myself? That's going to continue to play out into the new year. You've got also a Mercury retrograde in your 9th, so it's things in regards to education, wrapping up programs, things that you're learning. You've got transit Uranus in opposition to your moon, so that's really making some waves emotionally, and maybe you're becoming inspired by new hobbies or new things that you're kind of in love with or new romantic projects. Very curious about...
She says she's a medical assistant student.
Oh, cool.
And Saturn's going through her 3rd house of learning. So that's showing the medical assistance is the knowledge you're gaining about medicine in Saturn is interesting because it's aspecting your Venus, which rules your MC of career. Mm-hmm. So once again, like over the next 3 months, you're going to apply a lot more of the understanding as you wrap up more how to move forward with what you're going to do with medical assistance. But I feel like after the eclipse, you may take a completely different direction, or you may subtly start to change direction of the outlook. Maybe you might go something beyond medical assistance or reinforce what you learned. So just be open to taking a different direction in light of new information you're going to get this month.
I think in the medical assistant, I was going to say, you do skin and nails, Libra's your midheaven, and you have Jupiter and Uranus going into your 5th. I wonder if it makes sense to look at diversifying beyond just the medical assisting. If you wanted to go and get involved and like assist people involved in like cosmetic work, or just diversify your skills. So if you want to kind of blend beauty and any esthetician work with medical assisting, so you have something that you really enjoy doing. So it can be like, medical skincare, dermatology. Maybe you decide that you want to do like all of these like facials and like other things, but to like actually treat stuff. So you're going to fuse the two together. Jupiter sitting on your south node is going to encourage you to keep wanting to learn more all year. And I think that, you're coming into your Saturn opposition, so you have to really develop new skills, new talents to become more self-sustainable financially on your own. Which can feel a little overwhelming right now, and you have to kind of pick and choose where you're putting your money or what you're investing it in, so you can't like do all of the things that you want to do. But it will give you long-lasting rewards with Saturn in your 2nd coming into a trine with your midheaven, and you'll be able to align with people who can really help you become aware of your future when it comes to your career. So lots of learning, You know, when Saturn goes into Pisces next year, when Saturn leaves the house, he leaves a gift. So you should be making more money. You'll have like a new line of business that you're doing. And then you're on to Jupiter going into your 4th house. So it makes me wonder if you're going to move or if there's going to be a sense of you focusing more on your private life. But for the time being, really work with the Mars retrograde to develop new skills and keep learning and get organized and restructure your schedule so you can do all of the things that you want to do. Okay? You have a chart that would really benefit from like a reading. Just with Pluto in opposition to your Mars and some of the other things that are going on, Uranus in opposition to your moon. In 2 years' time, I mean, it could be the birth of either a brand new business that's your own, or it could be a child, depending on how you look at it in the 5th house.
When you said that. That's wild.
Congrats on doing the school stuff. Hopefully it goes well.
Is it weird?
Botox and fillers, that's great. Yeah.
I like how it's tied to the Venus and the Libra. It's all beauty and aesthetics.
So we've got Donald.
Dawn, the gangster. Saturn and Pisces.
Is that the right Donald? Hold on. Donald M. No, that's Donald G. Hold up. There we go. Donald, February 25th, 94. Reading for the upcoming transits. Thank you for what you guys do.
Well, we know that you have your Saturn on your sun, so this is going to be an amazing Saturn return. I love that you mentioned your YouTube channel because whether it blows or not, like I'm not gonna use the word blow up, but you're going to come into markedly practical and measurable success and growth on your YouTube channel. As Taurus rising, Saturn coming out our 10th is solidifying our career success. Delays and limitations are because your career is going through construction, like a new Chuck E. Cheese building, finishing construction to add new wings, right? So by the time Saturn comes into your 11th, you're growing your YouTube community and everything you've learned is coming around. It's a lot to look forward to because once Jupiter goes into your 11th, your YouTube community is going to grow. And Jupiter already went through your 11th from December to May. So once it retrogrades back, it's gonna grow that, and then Saturn is gonna come through and structure what you've grown. So the increase in your support doesn't go back down. You align it with the integrity to keep it there. And you know, the eclipse is on your rising. So coming out of Virgo to Sagittarius season, this is going to fundamentally take the seeds you've sown to really manifest more of who you are and express it towards others, transform others, and really come into, with your Jupiter in the 7th, amazing breakthrough in key partnerships that will support you in growing your YouTube channel, especially your relationship with your community. So you have a lot to look forward to.
What's the deal here with Saturn in conjunction to Mars and Mercury? Are you working with people and talking to them about subconscious patterning and things from their childhood and things that relate to like stepping into creative authenticity? Because you work with people in like an astral realm if Mars rules your 12th. And I think Saturn there is like you using meditation or hypnosis techniques or like psychological insight to like help people have breakthroughs.
Yeah.
And you had eclipses that have been really nailing your nodes, which is trying to like bring in more of an audience or bring in more attention from other people. It could be clients. And then, you know, it's so cool to see people do this prior to their Saturn return. Like, big kudos to you having Saturn go through your 10th house. Like, all of this work is going to really pay off as Saturn comes into your 11th and you have a community, whether you have a private group or you have meetings or you have a following.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, and you're going to work a lot with women and love and relationships with Sun, Saturn, Venus, all trine to your 7th house cusp. And in a couple years' time, when Pluto comes into conjunction with your midheaven, you'll start feeling it next year, but when it comes into conjunction at a 3, you're going to be probably sitting with couples, or you will take on either a business or a romantic partnership where you're going to sit with another partner and you're going to talk about how to work through conflict, how to work through trauma, how to build with another person, and you're going to encourage people to collaborate and come together. And it's going to be big. You're going to probably teach a course, or you're going to write a book, or you're going to be talking to people about how to have more conscious partnerships without all of the bullshit and the lies and the drama and the games. So we can go deeper into union, and like you're doing it all before your Saturn's return, which is really cool to see. So congratulations.
If I haven't sent you the article, please type in celebrities with MC and Aquarius for Astro Theme, and you'll see all of it. Your legacy is to be known. So you're establishing this for the next 30 years, and you're going through a 12th house Jupiter cycle, December to May of 2023. And when I went through that, I thought I was going to be a theologian. And the 12th house is spiritual beliefs. So I had to surrender my old Christian beliefs so that I could be the peace dealer before I was going to be the peace dealer. And bro, this is going to hook you up like never before. So you just want to surrender. You're not going to, you might feel like you don't know what's going to happen. Though as a Pisces, you're manifesting spiritual value. You have to believe in who you're becoming. So all power to you, bro. This is going to be amazing.
And pick up some new tools, you know. Jupiter going into your 12th house over the next 2 years. You might benefit from like teaching people tapping or meditation techniques, or you create tapes.
Thank
or like
you for your service.
You work with people in a subconscious realm. It's only going to strengthen this even more because people will start coming to you for advice in about 2 years' time. So good job. Awesome. I love to see people doing that before their Saturn's return. The confidence will come. That's Saturn right now that's in a square to your ascendant. That's what's going on. And Aquarius and Uranus. You're becoming a new version of yourself, which is kind of like weird and wacky, and it's very different than how people have seen you before. That's all. Okay, so we have Lauren, who wants 3 cards.
Let's do the cards after the readings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've only got 2 other people, so don't worry. Lauren and Victoria, we got you guys. We'll just get the 2 other astrology readings.
So we got Jennifer and Jacqueline
wrapped. So let's see. Do I have Jennifer already?
90.
No, I don't. Well, no. And that was 2/26/1990.
Goat Squad?
What's the time that you were born, Jennifer? I don't see that. Miami, Florida.
Beautiful. Congratulations in advance. 1:04 a.m.
Thanks.
Nice.
There we go. She says, I just got engaged, and I've been with my Cancer sun, Leo moon, Aries rising fiance for 3 years. Work is going great. Life is good. We're trying for baby. Any indication when that could happen for us?
Oh, definitely. You're there. Jupiter in your 5th. That's it. You're there. You're either pregnant or you're about to be pregnant. Especially coming into 2023. So if it doesn't happen this year, it's going to happen next year. And you're trying, so you got it. Congratulations.
I would say because Mars rules your 5th house of children, and it's going to go retrograde in the 7th. Possibly with Jupiter going retrograde in the 4th, you're rethinking your home base. So the question is like, where you're living right now, are you good having a kid? I would ask yourself that, because Jupiter wants to expand your home and your family. It's how you're imagining that to be. And Mars going retrograde in your 7th is, you could get pregnant very quickly and be like, how is this affecting the wedding? I'm pregnant. Now what do we do? Mm-hmm. Which isn't a bad thing. If you're trying to have a kid, it'll be fine. You want to look at your progressed moon to really see what's going on there. But I can tell you, because this year you're 32. No, yeah, you're 31. No, you're 32. You're 32. Yeah. So you're in a 9th house annual perfection year ruled by the sun. Saturn's coming into conjunction with your sun, which means next year you're focusing more on being at home more and what you're doing within the home. I want to move to a new house. Yeah. So I would say think about the living situation, because you can get pregnant like that with Jupiter trine your ascendant.
Just assume you're already pregnant. I'm going to be honest with you.
I would say look for the full moon in Aries that's coming pretty soon. That's going to be in your 5th house.
Yeah, that's a great date.
And that's going to be...
Of course, Virgo opposite your sun is having you be aware of your partnerships and how those partnerships affect your career and the direction. So that's something.
So it looks like the full moon. What am I doing? Here we go. The full moon in Aries, which will be. It's going to be October 9th. So you've got a full moon in Aries, still in the same sign as Jupiter, square all of your second house. Look for that full moon. That could be it. Worst case scenario, if there is not a pregnancy then you're looking at when Jupiter comes back into your 5th house and it's trining your ascendant.
From December to May.
Yeah, there's definitely a pregnancy coming with this. But you can look at your solar return. You can look at your progress chart. That'll tell you. But I think just with Jupiter sextile Mars right now, your partner is like, yeah, let's do it. And you're like, okay, but what about the home stuff? Yeah. So, yeah, I think that
just you trying with Jupiter in the 5th, it's guaranteed. That's just going to boom.
Yeah, and I also think that, Pluto conjunct your Venus. There's definitely a move coming. It's just about figuring out finances and like all of that stuff to be able to facilitate that. Yeah. But congrats on being engaged and trying to get, pregnant. I think it looks like pregnancy might happen before actually getting married. But it's okay. It's all good.
Boom.
And next year with Saturn in your whole sign 4th, you're focusing on getting grounded and being home more. Okay?
The sun trine and the rising's trine. That's really compatible.
Yeah. Congratulations. Super exciting. Yeah. Let us know. Mars retrograde in your 7th. You're reimagining what the relationship is going to look like once you factor in a third person. So good luck with that. Keep us updated. We've got one other astrology reading, and that's Jackie. You're welcome. Congrats, Jen. Okay, so let's see. Jackie. Oops. Did I have her in here?
She just had it. Jackie.
10/18/84.
Oh, nice. Love and career.
And that was 4:59. Oops. PM. So love and career. What's up, Jackie?
Pisces rising. Okay, so this is beautiful because you have started a brand new cycle. When people ask for love and career before Jupiter starts in their first, it's like you want a relationship or a new job while you're ending the old story. But now you're stepping into the new story. So this new cycle coming into next year will bring love, career. It's going to bring abundance in all fields of your life. So all you have to do, Jackie, is surrender. And you actually having your sun in Libra, when you come through your birthday and Saturn goes direct and Pluto goes direct, this is going to bring you more up to speed on the clarity of the direction you're going to take coming back into March and May when Jupiter is back in your first and you're stepping into this new cycle. So the rest of the year is clearing out the old 12 chapter book, the old 12 years that led you to where you are today. And you just really want to ask yourself what you learned, what you went through, because you're just going to surrender, release, and everything is going to unfold for you moving forward. Saturn getting ready to go into your rising will now bring new karmic lessons. So look around, because the opportunities you want are in front of you. They just haven't established itself yet. Like characters in a movie or a play who are central to the plot, but it's not time for them to like connect.
And Jupiter and Neptune, because Jupiter's going to go back into Pisces, it's going to sit on your ascendant, which is bringing you more faith, more optimism, more hope and vision for the future. However, it's going to square your natal Neptune in the 10th. So you're going to realize, are my goals aligning with who I am and what I want to do in the world? And where are my goals and my visions changing? Because you're going to be in a Neptune square for a while. But at the end of the year, it's going to square Mars in your 4th. So the question is, where do you want to live? What kind of a home do you want to build? Is it time to move? Do you need to go to another place to be able to facilitate these goals? Neptune squares are confusing. They're foggy. We can't see clearly. All we can do is have a little faith. So your connection to spirit, meditating, praying, like having a regular devotion is going to help guide you, because it's going to be very mysterious the way that the universe kind of helps you navigate this. And I have a hunch it's going to be about possibly making some big changes in terms of where you're living to facilitate this. Now, the Neptune-Mars square is annoying, but for Libras, it's 9th house to their sun. So it's, what am I learning? Where am I traveling? And it's going to trine your sun in the 7th. So I feel like it's about reorganizing what's going on in the home base and what you're learning about what you want to be doing. And maybe being a little bit more adventurous with where you're willing to kind of go. Jupiter's going to come back into Aries in the new year, and it's going to trine Uranus in the 9th. So you're either studying or you're traveling in some capacity to be able to better facilitate having much more of a balance between career and your home life. It's going to take some faith, man. It's going to take a lot of faith. And finally, you're coming out of a Pluto square your sun, so you're going to feel like you can get back on track with your schedule and things are happening. I have a hunch that it'll be the Mercury retrograde in January in your 10th house that's going to help you better understand relationships and like where you're going in the future in terms of your career. But Saturn, that is 5 houses from your sun, is about finding love. And I would say be trying to find people in faraway places, be trying to meet people in other places, people who you might meet through education or travel is what's likely to manifest. And a really strong Mercury transit is going to produce the ability for you to be in a relationship. Well, once Jupiter goes into Taurus, it'll be next year. A little ahead of myself, but that's going to produce something right around May of next year, Jupiter opposite Mercury, that you might meet somebody who lives in a different place, or you have already met someone, and then there's like a bit of a back and forth that's taking place. But yeah, lots of faith required to kind of navigate this one.
All right, now for the cards.
Cool. So we've got Lauren that asked for 3 cards, and then you can take Victoria.
Beautiful.
Thank you guys for your patience. We appreciate it. We got a number of people to get through tonight. Woo. Let's take a look here. So this is going to be for you, Lauren. We've got the Star card, Page of Wands, and the Moon. 2 major arcana cards, the Star and the Moon. The Star talks about kind of like the healing after things have kind of broken down or fallen apart. Hope for the future, faith for the future, can be talking about groups and networks and people that are coming in. To me, this looks like inspiration that is emerging in a subconscious way. It can be in dreams, through meditation, reflection, what have you. Both of these cards are nighttime. So it talks about your nighttime routine. It also talks about your visions, dreams that are coming, to you, or what you're starting to kind of have a feeling. Like there's a need to tune in. So whether you're meditating before you go to sleep or paying attention to your dreams, there can be some big things that are going on for you subconsciously. The Star card is also the energy of Aquarius or Saturn. So I don't know if you have any placements here, or this is just talking about your current Saturn transit, but I would say keep an eye out for that. Page of Wands is new opportunities, creative things. It's taking a chance, trying something new. I think this is a lot about like really exercising your intuitive abilities and like trusting whatever it is that you're wanting to work on creatively and hoping that it's going to actually pay off and that it's going to work. Looks like you're setting some intentions or some goals to just have more playtime or to be able to be more creative and express yourself more, be more authentic. And then you've got the Moon card. So this can be talking about like looking at the lunar cycles or paying attention to, once again, what your intuition is telling you. You might feel like there's new goals that are emerging in regards to creativity, children, playtime, new talents that are emerging that you didn't realize that you had. And the Moon is kind of like, can I trust this? Is it going to work out? Am I seeing this clearly? Are my goals too big? Whatever you're approaching that's new or more exciting in your life, I would just say like the Page of Wands wants to have fun. He wants to take a chance. There's no guarantee that things are going to stick, but It is saying that if you let inspiration lead the way for whatever creative projects you're working on, or if your goals are having more adventure, traveling, you know, having a child, because this is very lunar, right? It's very maternal. You have to listen to what your gut is telling you right now. And it's telling you that you have to follow where inspiration is to be able to find your way through the dark and have more inspiration, okay? Follow the moon, take a look. I mean, we are going to be having a full moon in Pisces pretty soon, in about 10, 11 days. And that can be something that can definitely strike a chord inspiration-wise and give you some idea as to what you really should be spending your time doing and how you can have a little bit more adventure or fun in your life. Ooh.
And last but not least,
We have Victoria. What did she ask us? Where is she?
oh, it looks like someone also got an astrology reading.
Yeah, but they slipped in after.
Okay, so you're refunding.
Okay.
Heart of Justice.
There she is. Elizabeth, we already have last call, so we're going to have to send that back to you. I apologize. We called last call. Victoria says, Venus hits first house September 5th, Virgo vibes. Pull a card about Venus theme, focus for her transit. What do I need to know?
Okay.
Aries sun, Cap moon, Virgo rising.
We got the Tower. So what you need to know is that anything that is out of alignment with how you value yourself and express that to others is going to be completely, struck out of upheaval. And this is really important because I feel like concerning where your Venus is, you may be giving away your value and power to people who are not honoring it, but are being very deceptive so that they still gain from you. What I get concerning Venus is this Tower moment is going to reveal who's been playing you, who's been trying to play your heart, who's been trying to take advantage of you. And if you didn't have this Tower moment happen, it wouldn't expose the Seven of Swords. It's also saying you want to take a very strategic approach to come into success that, will happen by you not playing your hand, and it'll help you adapt through whatever this Tower moment is. I feel like with this Tower, though, it could be something very positive for your Venus as well. So in one sense, you're exposing hidden enemies. In another sense, you're stealing home base due to whatever expression of your Venus will kind of unconventionally break you through there too.
What's up, Patrick? Elizabeth, are you still there? Let's see. Is she here? We did call last call, but I want to see if you're still watching. I'll take it.
Nice.
Because it looks like she needs some help. November 9th, 89.
Victoria, keep me posted on what that Tower card is, because it's going to happen probably within this week or next week. We could just interpret it for her anyway, and then she'll be able to see the replay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elizabeth, you are November 9th, 1989, and that
Goat
is at
Squad.
5:09
That's around your birthday.
a.m. Yeah, we're a couple days apart.
Nice.
I wonder if her life is as crazy as mine. Oh, no, that's 88. Hold up. Make sure this is correct.
Goat Squad.
There we go. Okay, so you're 2 degrees Scorpio rising. So her statement was, the last 2 weeks have been a roller coaster. Every aspect of my life feels up in the air. How can I best utilize the Mercury and Mars retrograde energy? Pisces full moon is trine my sun. A loose conjunction of my moon seems important. Love to hear your feedback during these transits. I already feel scattered. Mars has just dipped its toes into Gemini. Well, Mars is your chart ruler, right? So Mars, in theory, whole sign is going to go retrograde through your 9th, but it's Placidus going retrograde through your 8th. So it will stay in your 8th house the whole time. So the good thing is Mars does well in the 8th house. However, it's really psychological. It's about going deeper in how you communicate and how You practice more vulnerability and intimacy. Being a Scorpio rising with all that Scorpio in your chart, it's all in your first house. So it's about how you're changing and transforming the way that you approach life, how you come across. Like having all that Scorpio in the first and being a Scorpio rising, like you have a sense of armor, right? And there can be a more Martian energy to the first house of being defensive and like not knowing what you can trust. It looks a little overwhelming with Uranus going through your 7th house and people are just radically showing up into your life, or you're trying to make sense of what you want with Saturn on your North Node in the 4th. What kind of home you want, what do you want to be building, what is your long-term private legacy going to be, what's going on with your family. These are some really intense squares. Like I said, like you're born 2 days before me, so I'm going through the same squares and it's all over the place because it's ricocheting also in opposition to your South Node. Focus on the North Node Saturn. This is about how you're communicating, expressing your feelings. Focus on the changes in relationships and realize that people can suddenly show up in your life out of the blue that can really transform and help you kind of build the life that you want. But while Mars, which is your chart ruler, goes retrograde in the 8th, it's a great time to like study the occult, see a therapist, talk to somebody, do some energy work, open up more in terms of intimacy. Mars agitates Scorpio in Gemini. And it's going to quincunx all of those energies in your first house. So it's going to be about reworking how you communicate with other people and where you may fear intimacy or vulnerability and opening up. It's all going to trine Saturn in the North Node. I feel like that's about changing your home, your emotions, uprooting things from the past, clearing out family karma. There can be changes in your home or changes with your family. But I like the trines that are happening for you to Aquarius. And I would say Libra season is very promising because you've got air trines and water houses. So we're finally communicating where you're afraid of change. You're finally sharing with people and you're clearing out old karma in regards to relationships. The Mercury retrograde is taking place there as well. So I think that that's significant. Riffing off the full moon that's coming, that's going to be in Pisces. It's going to be trine all your Scorpio. It's about romance. It's about creativity. It's about having fun, falling in love. Wonderful because it also sextiles Uranus in your 7th. So Scorpio risings with the full moon in the 5th. Sextile Uranus is sudden opportunities for chance connections with partners. If you are committed, there's changes in relationships, falling in love with a partner again, talking a lot about intimacy, saying I love you, maybe talking about pregnancy. And you've got Neptune also that's hanging out on your moon. So to have a Pisces full moon conjunct Neptune, it's what are your dreams? What are your desires? Are you becoming more interested in art and design? Something like that is kind of going on there as well, because it is going to be the Lord of your 9th. So maybe it's about setting a pleasure vacation. Maybe it's about taking an art class. But all of that in a trine to your first tells me it's about the expression of the body. So it's not just that. Maybe it's dance, getting in touch with your body and intimacy and your own sexuality and being more confident in how you express yourself to other people. All that Scorpio, you need an outlet. So if it's not fitness, it's going to be sex. If it's not sex, then it needs to be something that is going to allow you to use all that Scorpio energy in a productive way. Otherwise, you can get kind of spicy. And I love that the full moon is also in a trine to your Jupiter. I think that that's really expanding your beliefs and your philosophy and your ability to see that there are other ways to be able to live a creative life that can also be fulfilling, and it can bring much more financial opportunities your way. Yes, it's a bit wild with Mars there, but I would say keep in mind that it's all about how you're communicating during the Mars retrograde, what you're afraid of changing, and how you can transform the way that you look at endings, because endings make way for new beginnings.
Neptune's on your moon, so you're more receptive to being able to read people's souls and just intuitively grasp what's happening, what it means. So you could channel great creativity through this period.
Very psychic transit with Neptune on your moon, and also all that Scorpio in your chart. Oh my goodness.
Well, it's your favorite time. We didn't do this last time, but the pick a card sex reading. I'm gonna pull six cards. And the bottom cards are the theme here. So this is gonna be pretty awesome. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we do, this is pile number 1. This is pile number 2. This is pile number 3. This is pile number 4. This is pile number 5. This is pile number 6. So we have the King of Cups and the Star. This is really dope, y'all. King of Cups and the Star means that you are recognizing who your soulmate is, whether you're with them or not. This is an inevitable soulmate encounter that's coming in hot with the Knight of Wands. This is someone who's passionate, but very grounded financially and has a lot of influence, could be famous. The King of, whether you're the King of Cups or the Star, that's the nature of this union sexually that's coming together. So that's interesting. Card number 1 we have is the King of Swords. So for some of you, you're going to be having sex with the King of Swords. This is definitely going to be someone who's objective. They're not necessarily romantic unless they want to be, but
penetration.
Yeah, a lot more objective. They can be more BDSM in a way, but not like in the devil card way, more like in a, I'll probably put a blindfold over you and a tie over your hands. But this is also saying to maintain an objective attitude towards sex and lovemaking, and to just be straight up, just be like, hey, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to seduce. Now for pile number 2, we have the Ace of Pentacles. If you want to have sex, give a gift. Give someone some kind of money. Give someone some kind of gift. Let it be.
You want jewelry.
Right. Or your seed, if your seed is the gift.
The gift that keeps on giving.
To give you my seed. No, but I said that to a lady. She blocked me. Yeah, it didn't work. But she had an Aries moon. But yeah, Ace of Pentacles is talking about new healthy beginnings. So you have the potential to create something lasting, but this is definitely going to be very grounded. It's not going to be rose tinted glasses. So the easiest way though is to bring a heartfelt gift. Pile 3.
I was going for 3.
0 to 100. This is, I mean,
I was like, come on, 3.
Passionate sex. I'll say that. The thing with the 8 of Wands is it's it's the arrows of love. It's falling in love again. It's rekindling passion in sex, and mainly for a lot of you, if you're just getting to know someone, you're gonna have sex with them the same day, so things are gonna move very quickly, okay? And it's gonna revive a lot of passion for sex too, for existing connections. Pile number 4 is soulmate card. So you're having an innocent connection with the soulmate. So it's like sex for y'all could be like cuddling. And that could be y'all sex. You'll definitely have sex, but it's not a devil card like nasty sex. It's more like two kids losing their virginity to each other. It's a very, it's a soulmate sex card. Okay, I like that. It's very innocent. It's very pure.
Oh my God, these are all good. Where's the whammy?
All good, right? Pile number 5, and remember the theme here is recognizing your soulmate, like being more clear on that. So the like 1 is the Star, and then 1 is the more grounded counselor, like the King of Cups. This is Scorpio rising, or maybe like, you know, any counselor. And then you have like the Star, and they both, like, one's more popular and the other kind of like helps manage her and whatnot. So pile number 5 is like pile number 4, whereas this is more soulmates connecting. This is soulmates, but in a more mature way.
Commitment.
Pile 4 and 5. Pile 4 is the beginning of commitment. Pile 5 is commitment, mutual love. The sex you have is going to actually grow your connection. You're going to grow a lot deeper. It's going to be very deep. And of course, pile number 5.
Oh my gosh!
And all these cards,
these are
all
great
line together.
Yeah,
too.
It's about an evolution.
Yeah, you're growing. You're taking a connection from a past life or early childhood. It's maturing, and you're all meeting together. So pile number 6. This is going to be very festive. This is going to be fun. You might have sex all over the house. Like, this is going to be really awesome. This is the best pick a card sex reading I've ever done.
It's really good. It's like sex that
goodness.
leads to like commitment.
Yeah, straight up.
It's cuffing season. It's coming
It's cuffing
up.
season. You might move in with some people too, so it's definitely going to happen very quickly. I picked pile 4, so I'm happy.
Guys, thank you for staying with us, for being super awesome, for supporting the podcast. Thank you so much for you guys joining the readings and the memberships and staying with us and watching all of this. We love you. We're creating more content for you. Help us continue to keep going with the podcast by sharing, liking, commenting, and joining our memberships. We are on our way to 100 episodes pretty soon. It's hard to believe.
And soon 100 subs. 100,000 subs.
Yeah, keep pushing those subscription guys. Yeah. We're seeing the channel grow, but sharing is caring. Stay tuned. If you guys are a level 2 or level 3 member, you get our episodes on Saturdays. You don't have to wait till Monday. And otherwise, for the rest of you guys, they will be out on Monday. Enjoy the rest of your hump day. You guys, take care.
Woo!